Hey guys, Omega Dark Mage here, and I'm bringing you guys a deck profile for Evilswarms. For the April 2015 ban list. A few changes have been made since my last deck profile, which was back in September. And I had another deck set up for the January format, but I never got to put it out due to certain circumstances. So, here's the one for April, guys. Alright, so, 3 Heliotrope, you need this guy. He's 1950 beater, great card. Every Evilswarm runs him. Every Evilswarm deck. Of course, you need Rabbit. To complement the Heliotrope. Pretty standard. One's the Hawk, a filler Evilswarm monster. I really just want to keep the Evilswarm monster count as high as possible. I'm very different with my setup on this deck, and this is one of those examples when it comes to that. Very circumstantial choice. It's a very interesting choice. And I'm sure I'll get critiqued for it. But he comes through with his 1850 attack, so he's not a bad pick. Next up we got the 3 casters. Another really common card in Evilswarm. Just get as many monsters on the field as possible. We'll get an extra normal summon with him. 3 Thunderbird. He's okay. And I like being able to dodge card effects with him, so I run him at 3, and I just want to keep the Evilswarm count as high as possible. 3 Kirkion, he's great. He's your big combo guy, so you need 3 of him. 3 Mandragora, he's not amazing, but if you go second, he's really good. And finally, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. He's got 1850 defense. And, I don't usually use his effect. I'll usually normal summon Caster, then bring him out, go right into Ophion, but he's there as an option. If he was like the only monster you drew in your opening hand, you could set him down and maybe punish your opponent. So that's why I like him. And I just wanted to keep the monster count as high as I could. Next up we have a Raigeki. Don't waste this early on. Save this card for when you really need it. When you really need it. It's a good card. It'll nuke your opponent's field pretty much. Next up we have 2 Reinforcement of the Armies. I would run 3, but a lot of times the third one ends up being a dead draw. So I'd rather just go with 2. We only have 3 targets for this card, and those targets are the 3 casters, so I'll go with 2. I'd rather not risk it, the third one. 1 MST. I'm not big on MST in this deck. But it is useful for getting rid of certain things. Just hold on to this card for when you really need it. If you need to get rid of an annoying field spell card, or a continuous trap card, continuous spell card, or whatever that's being really annoying, this card can help. Book of Moon, pretty self-explanatory. It's a pretty good card. Really handy for different situations. 3 Pandemic. This card can be a little cloggy sometimes, but I like this card. It's like a super forbidden lance. It protects all Evilswarms from spells and traps, and also steel swarms, but we don't run those in this deck. So, not bad. I like this card. Mask Change the Second. This was one of those changes I made. I'm running this card at 1, cause I feel like 2 might be a bit too much. I don't like to discard. I've never been a fan of discarding, but this card can be useful, yeah, in certain situations. If possible, I'd like to avoid discarding a spell or trap card. I'd rather discard a monster to increase the monster count in the graveyard and possibly bring out Ophion using Kirkion's effect a little bit sooner. It's actually very easy to summon Darklaw and Ophion first turn if you draw the right monsters. This card can combo really nicely, and I'll cover that little combo at the end of the video. Yeah, it's a good card, but I would not run more than one. That's just my preference. Let's see. XYZ Reborn. This is very self-explanatory. This will bring back Ophion or any XYZ monster. And we've got plenty of XYZ monsters. But Ophion's the main target for this card. I like this card. It's pretty nice. Bottomless. This is a staple card. Very good. Double Mirror Force. I prefer these over D-Prison, since they'll punish the opponent a lot more if they overextended. And Darklaw is pretty good for banishing stuff too if you happen to summon him, since everything your opponent uses will go to the graveyard. Next up, Compulsory, a good card. Vanity's Emptiness. This is a new card that I've been using, and it's really good. It used to be at 3 if I'm not mistaken, but it's at 1 now, so yeah, I think that's fine, keeping this at 1. This card is kind of broken sometimes. I was testing this deck out the other day and it clinched me the match against, I think the deck I was playing against was Super Heavyweights, that's what they're called, right? Super Heavyweights. Super Heavyweights, yep, these guys. Yeah, they couldn't do anything once Vanities was out. It was pretty much game. I had Ophion on the field and Vanities. I pretty much slaughtered my opponent. And let's see here. Infestation Infection. This is really good for shuffling cards. And like Evilswarms back into our deck, getting another Evilswarm. Very, very good card to get Kirkion into your hand. Very good card. Double Safe Zone. I love this card. It's really good. It saved my Ophion a lot of times, and yeah, I'll cover what this card can really do a little bit later. It's a great card. And lastly for the traps, we have Three Fiendish Chain. It's a great card for dealing with your opponent's monster effects. Yeah. Effect negation is so important. It really is. Now onto the extra deck. I'm running Darklaw, of course. I had to run him since I am running this card, obviously. Yeah, he's really good. If you get Darklaw out first turn, you're really going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent, depending on the deck they play. He's a good card to have. I like having the option, you know, to summon him. 104 Masquerade. I like him, but I rarely use him. I'll probably only use him against the stall decks. The decks that run Battle Fader and Swift Scarecrow. Yeah, Exodia decks, Spinal Countdown, those annoying decks. And burn decks too. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, this could pretty much clinch the match for you. Since he'll have 3 materials, and he can use that effect to negate monster effects 3 times, which is really, really good. You could shut down 3 Battle Faders with that. And you also do a little bit of damage when you do it, which is nice. And you can also send the top card of your opponent's deck to the graveyard each turn for free. No detachment required. So it's a really good card. I had an Exodia player use a Mirror Force on me once and destroyed this card. but that was before I was running Safe Zone in the build. I was still experimenting. So if I happen to have Safe Zone, I can keep this guy alive and pretty much clinch the match. And 3 Ophion, obviously you need to run 3 Ophion. He's like the star of the show for the most part. He's a good card. 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. He's like a filler monster. But he does have some uses. He could actually crush your opponent's strongest monster. So he's not bad. And he'll retain the attack power boost even if the turn ends. So it's a permanent boost as long as he's on the field. 1 Key Beetle for the Safe Zone Key Beetle lock. Once you get the Key Beetle lock going, you could actually go and protect your Ophion with his effect. And then you'll really be solid. Another good target for Key Beetle might be Dark Law. Yeah, if you protect Dark Law with Key Beetle, ooh, yeah, that's gonna be really, really good for you. Let's see, we got an Evilswarm Bahamut. He's a pretty good card, but I would not run more than 1 of him. 1 Black Ship of Corn to get rid of a few annoying cards that can't be destroyed and stuff like that. Yeah. And his effect doesn't destroy, which I like, so you can get rid of the fire and ice hands pretty easily with him without activating their effects. Pretty good card for certain situations. 2 Silent Honor Arc, pretty good card to just come back against your opponent on. Yeah, it's a good card. Let's see, Castel the Sky Blaster Musketeer, I have him at 1. I wasn't sure if to run 2 of these or 2 of these, but I'm still playing around with it. I might swap. I might actually get 2 of these and just 1 of these, so yeah, he's a good card. He can get rid of a lot of annoying things. 1 Exciton Knight, just destroy everything on the field and possibly clinch the match if your opponent overextended. Cowboy wins games, guys. He really does. And lastly, for the extra deck monsters, number 80, Rhapsody. He's a good card. He'll power up your Ophion or whatever XYZ monster you want powered up, and yeah, run things over. He can also banish a few cards from your opponent's graveyard, which is a nice plus. And I like that. Yeah, and he can also get rid of yeah, like certain things that you normally wouldn't be able to run over if you actually manage to power up the Ophion. Like if you're playing the Quillforts, this guy, the Cliffort Towers. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. Probably not, but yeah, this card, if my opponent managed to play this card, it's pretty much game unless I defeat it with the Ophion and the Rhapsody combo. Yeah, because this thing can't be touched by any card effects. It's pretty OP. I'm surprised it hasn't been limited to 1 yet. It should be at 1. A little bit surprising. This thing is like, I don't know, this thing is like a god card. So I'm a little surprised. But it is what it is, guys. Deal with it. Alright. Now onto the side deck. Let's see, we got a Mystical Space Typhoon, and a second one in case the opponent has too many annoying cards. 1 Prohibition, a good side deck card. Yeah, 1 Zombie World. This will pretty much mess up your opponent's like tribute summons. And it'll also turn all their monster cards into zombies, which can mess up some plays for them. If there are like card effects require Beast Warriors or something like that, now those card effects are useless because those cards are now zombies. Pretty good card. Royal Prison, pretty good card. Keep things from coming back, coming back from the grave. Macrocosmos, everything gets banished with this, so this is a pretty nice card. Imperial Iron Wall, it does the opposite of Macrocosmos. It keeps things from being banished. Pretty good card. I like it. Goes in match. This is pretty good against decks that have lots of attributes like elemental heroes. So, yeah, this is another nice little card. All our monsters, with the exception of Rabbit, are dark types, so we're good. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror. This is good against Lightsworns and Satellar Knights. I like this card. Really, really good. Just keep in mind the opponent can run the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror against us. 1 Mistake. Pretty good against the Necros matchup. I really like this card. Mental Drain. Pretty good card. It works pretty well against Necros. And against those Battle Faders with Scarecrows. This one, let's see. Yeah, this works pretty good against like monsters that are in the graveyard, like Shaddols and whatnot. It's a pretty nice card. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Stygian Dirge. Pretty good against the Burning Abyss. Yeah, since now they won't be able to make the rank 3s. So that's pretty good against them. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. This kills pretty much any deck that runs high level stuff. I ain't kidding. This is really good. And lastly, 1 Black Horn of Heaven. This kills number 86 before he even touches the field. That's the only reason it's there, honestly. So yeah, guys, that's my Evilswarm deck profile, and I guess I can just give you guys a little bit of a combo. Alright, so let's say you have this card in your hand, you have this guy in your hand, and this guy, and maybe one more Evilswarm. The other 2 cards don't matter as much. Maybe it could be a Safe Zone, and maybe Mirror Force. Let's see, does that look good? Alright. You could go first or second. If you're going second, you'll get Mirror Force in your hand, in this case. Alright, so the first thing you do is you normal summon your caster, and then you normal summon your Kirkion. Then you'll activate your Mask Change, and you'll use it on your caster. So you'll discard Thunderbird and then send caster to the graveyard, and you'll have Dark Law. Now you can activate Kirkion's effect, banish one of these 2, maybe Thunderbird, get caster back in hand. You can't reuse his effect though, because it's only you can only use it once per turn. But regardless, we'll normal summon him with Kirkion's effect, and right there we can go right into Ophion. Or another play you can go into, another monster you can go into Key Beetle, since we have a Safe Zone in hand. It really depends on the matchup. Yeah, your choice will depend mostly on the matchup. If you're not afraid of high level monsters, then probably go into Key Beetle, set up the Safe Zone lock, and yeah, just take it from there, guys. Yeah, you'll have Key Beetle and Dark Law first turn, or Ophion and Dark Law, depends on your choice. Yeah, it comes down to preference. This Safe Zone is going to be useful for protecting either one of those 2 monsters, which is good. And you still have the extra card. If you were going second, you have your Mirror Force. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this deck profile. I guess I could show you a few other custom hands you could start off with, some random hands. This deck gives you a few random hands, but it's pretty consistent. Right here we have first turn Ophion, which is pretty nice. If you're going second, you'll be able to use Reinforcement of the Army to search out another caster. And you could probably special summon this card if your opponent has a monster on the field, then normal summon Caster, and instantly make an Ophion or whatever you want to do. You can make Dark Law. Yeah, you can choose to make Dark Law by sacking this card, then normal summoning Caster and another Caster going into Ophion. So that's pretty good stuff right there. And of course with Ophion you search out your Pandemic or whatever you want, so you're not totally defenseless, and you've got your little back rows. It's a really solid opening. Let's see, another random hand. If we're going second, we have Thunderbird. Put this guy out there and set these cards. It's a pretty solid opening. Thunderbird with back row is always nice, guys. It really is. The back row support on Thunderbird is amazing. Another random hand. First turn Ophion and a Kyrgion. Not bad. Yeah, first turn Ophion thanks to this card. Yeah, the plays are pretty nice. First turn Ophion, guys, and a safe zone. Not bad. I think I've pretty much made my point here. If you're going second, yeah, it's a first turn Ophion. And we got some nice cards here. So yeah, it's a nice deck, guys. Pretty consistent, and I like keeping the monster count as high as possible. Yeah, I've had hands where I just like constantly draw back row cards and I don't draw monsters. Like, I've had this happen to me before. And it can still happen, but it happens less because I have more monsters now. I've seen a lot of decks that run only like 15, 16 monsters, but I think the extra monsters really help. I've had hands like this, and this is no good, guys. This is no good at all. Yeah, we want hands that give us some monsters, because you can't fight a duel without monster cards, guys. This deck does not work if you don't draw into some monsters early on. And yeah, this is fine. It's not the best, but this is fine. This is pretty good because you got a rabbit, you got the reinforcement. You didn't draw back row, but it's probably better to draw into like only monster cards rather than only spell and trap cards. You're better off getting a full hand of monsters than a full hand of spell and traps, in my opinion. And this is a good hand too. Any hand that gives me some monster cards, I'm definitely okay with. And first turn Ophion. First turn Ophion, thanks to that. This deck is really good. And I'll definitely showcase it. Yeah, I'll definitely showcase it. It's pretty good, guys. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments section. And yeah, I've rambled on, like always. So yeah, Omega Dark Mage signing out, guys.